Welcome to session 13 of using Office 365 groups for CIS project 3900 final project collaboration. Session 13 is about using the shared planner, and it's part 2 of using the shared planner. So if you haven't watched session 12, which is part 1 of the planner, you'll need to do that before watching this session. So in this session, we're going to continue our discussion of the planner feature. If you'll recall, the planner feature allows you to use, allows you to create Kanban methodology plans. And in Office 365, there's a plan automatically created for each group that's created. So when you create your group for your Office 365 group for your project team, you'll get a plan by default. And then this plan can be used to assign and manage tasks for the project. So previously, we talked about how to create tasks, how to create buckets to organize tasks, and then how to get the tasks in the bucket. So in this session, you'll learn how to use the shared planner to actually assign the task, manage the task status and details, and then manage the overall plan. Task details. In the previous session, tasks and buckets were created. Any of the tasks can be augmented with additional details that help define, assign, and track the task. So to get to the tasks details, you simply click on the task, right? So here, if you remember from the last session, this was our plan for my group that I led in doing the CIS 3900 final project. Here was our buckets of tasks, and here was our tasks that are represented by these tiles. And you'll see I already have details and things have already been assigned. So let's go over here to this test one that I did. And you'll see these don't have assignments or details or anything like that. So let's get this one, right? So the task is to read the project assignment documents that Dr. Perez-Mira gave us. So the description, I might want to just add more of that, right? So there are 3 documents to read. That would be the intro, the criteria, and then the final deliverable. Right? And then I can even attach those files, right? And it's that didn't work because I've not finished setting up this entire group. I can add links. So let's say that I wanted to put the links to the Moodle links to get to the documents that Dr. Perez-Mira did. And let's say that I wanted to show. You notice in the last one that I was actually showing the description of the task on the card. Well, by checking that box, you can see here in the background that that's exactly what it did. So and then also I can add comments, right? So if I just wanted to basically say, hey, task has been updated. So the comments are really useful. Like if you're working on a task and you wanted to sort of update the team on where you are on that task, you can just add a comment, post it, and basically it makes a list of tasks, right? So the first comment was I created the task, and then this has been updated. So you can see how as you work on a task, the comments could be useful to kind of just specify just to give them information about the progress as you make it on the task. You see these little labels here. So the other thing you can do is set labels. So if you remember in our document properties conversation, we talked about creating document properties and then tagging documents with them. Well, this allows you to tag tasks with a label, right? So let's say that in addition to buckets, I wanted another way to tag a task. So let's say that some of the tasks were to be completed by an external party, or I needed more information on, right? So there was a set of tasks. So let's say that I wanted to say any task that I need that needs more info, maybe from the professor. I can just tag it with the pink tag, and you'll see that here it shows up, right? So it shows that I have comments on the task. It shows me the detail of the task because I checked that box of show it on the thing, and then you can see that it's got the little pink tag here indicating that it needs more info. So that's a way to fill out the details on the documents, on the tasks. So once all that's done, basically the tasks are all ready to be worked. And so in Kanban methodology, tasks are typically pulled, not pushed. And you know, you can certainly assign tasks as a project leader. So I was the project leader for my group for the CIS 3900 final project. So some of the tasks I just assigned out. But in general, the way Kanban is supposed to work is, you know, there's a list of things to do whenever there's a resource that has availability. You know, they go grab a task and assign him or herself to it, and then set the status as in progress. By the way, the default is not started, so you set it as in progress. You set the start date, so when did you or when are you going to start on it, and then set the due date. So if sometimes the due date's already agreed to, right? So that's done when you're filling out the details of the task. But other times, you know, you don't have necessarily a due date for that specific tasks. So when the person pulls it, when the resource pulls it, they might, you know, go ahead and set themselves a due date. And then, as I mentioned, as progress is being made on the task, the team member working on it can add comments as needed or desired or what have you. So let's go look at see what that looks like. So I'm going to go into this task, right? So let's click on it and add an assignment. So here, you know, I've assigned myself to this task, and then I go from not started to in progress. I'm going to start on the thing today, and I want it to be finished by the 8th, right? And so there we go. So once I click off of it now, you can see that my Kanban card here on my Kanban board, which is what this is called, by the way. You see the board view. You can see that, you know, here's the project, here's the task to read the project assigned documents. There's 3 documents. That's the description. It shows that it's in progress. It shows that there are comments. It shows the due date. And it shows that Randall here is assigned. So I'm going to go back to our CIS 3900 plan just for a second. And you can see that, we'll just drop this one down. You can see that, you know, these tasks were completed by me. This task was completed by Francis. And, you know, basically you can see that how these tasks go. And, excuse me, and you know, comments, we didn't use comments a lot. You can see that these were automatically added, but and we didn't really use tags much either. So you know, you certainly don't have to use all of the features, but they're there. It helps you you know, manage your project. So completing a task. So how, you know, do I complete a task? Well, the easiest way to do it, I'm going to switch back over to the CIS test plan. So when I open it up, so there's this little checkbox right here, right? So I can just check it and now it's completed. Or if I want to do, you know, something more sophisticated, so let's say not only now I want to completed, but maybe I want to add a comment, right? Task is done, and then post. And then again, you know, it shows as completed. So that's, you know, how you complete a task. So managing the plan. So we've talked about how to create tasks. We've talked about how to organize tasks. We've talked about how to fill out task details. We've talked about how to get tasks assigned by pulling or pushing tasks. You know, how do I manage the overall plan? So I was the lead on my project. So how do I use this tool to manage the plan? Well, there's a couple of ways. So one, this board view, right? So you see in this board view, I'm going to go back to you know, my group's plan here. You can see in this board view, you can imagine, you know, as these projects, as these tasks were done and undone, it's pretty you know, this is a pretty compelling board to see kind of what, you know, by bucket, what's done and what's not done, and who's working on what, right? Well, I can also look at it by assigned to, right? So, you know, which things were assigned to Randy, which things were assigned to Anthony, and which things were assigned to Francis. The other way I can look at it is by progress, right? And so here would be which ones are not started, which ones would be in progress, and which ones would be completed. And here's a bunch more completed tasks, obviously. So you know, this board view and the ability to, you know, view it by different by different contexts and perspectives is super powerful for managing this thing, right? So if I wanted to, for example, see, hey, which tasks haven't been started at all, right? So they're going to show up right here under this column, and so it makes it, again, pretty compelling view. Well, the other thing that I can do is there's this charts view, And so here I can still view by assigned to, due date, progress, buckets, that sort of thing, but I get this graphical view, right? So which tasks are completed, in progress, late, and I sort of, you can imagine this circle. So let's go over here to this one and go to charts view. You can see this circle view is pretty powerful, right? So it shows me that, you know, basically what I'm after is getting this entire circle green. Well, obviously the entire circle is not green because I've got two that aren't started, right? And if I had any that were past the due date but not completed, or if I had any in progress, they would show up there, right? So for example, if I go over here and let's create use case diagrams, and let's say I put that one in progress, you're going to see that, hey, 1/3 of the project is done, 1/3 is in progress, and 1/3 is not even started yet. So it's, again, this graphical view is a pretty compelling way to see, to sort of manage your progress, your project, and this planner tool kind of comes together in these views, especially for if you're the leader of that project. But even if you're a member and you just kind of want to see where you are along. So again, the ability to manage the project as a part of this planner tool is pretty powerful for project teams. So if we were to go back to our learning goal here for the session, it's, we want to learn how to use the planner tool to assign tasks, manage tasks, status, and details, and then manage the overall plan. And so you've seen kind of how we can do that in the planner and using the Kanban methodology. And it's pretty simple at the end of the day, but it's also pretty powerful as well.